Coming up, I'm going to tell you about 5 high-paying jobs that are going to boom over the next decade and how to handle the word no. We'll get to your calls and so much more, and it all starts right now. We are coming to you live from Ramsey Studios, and you're joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and how you can get there. I'm Ken, and I promise I'm your friend. If you're new to the program, welcome. This is all about you because we believe that you were created to fill a unique role, that you are needed, and so that means that you must do it. Simply put, somebody out there needs you to be you, and that's why we exist, to give you that clarity. Because once you're clear, you're confident. And when you have confidence, you'll have courage to stay with it. You can get there. I love sharing new data about the workforce, the marketplace. 5 high-paying growing jobs that didn't exist a decade ago, but they're going to be booming through the 2020s. CNBC spoke with Glassdoor senior economic research analyst Amanda Stansel about the jobs that, while barely existing at the turn of the decade, have now exploded in growth and pay through the 2010s. So I'm going to walk through these. This is fascinating stuff because this is going to hit a lot of you where you are. Data scientist, or data. Do you say data or data in the control room? Data? How many datas we got in there? Oh, both. Okay, all right. I say data, I think. Now watch me say it 5 different ways. Yeah, here we go. All right, data scientist. The median income for a data scientist is $107,000. In 2012, Harvard Business Review named data scientist the sexiest job of the 21st century. And for the past 4 years, Glassdoor has recognized it as the number 1 job in the U.S. based on job satisfaction, pay, and opportunity. Stansel says the demand for data scientists is still most concentrated within the tech industry, but it's growing across every sector: healthcare, finance, business, retail, media, and beyond. Why? Because, as Stansel says, all these companies have a need for data and a data scientist who can make use of all of the data and turn it into something valuable. Because it's a new field, many of today's data scientists have various backgrounds in computer science, math, statistics, and engineering. Okay. Number 2, information security engineer. Base pay of $100,000. Since 2010, data breaches have compromised over 38 billion accounts, according to cybersecurity firm Risk-Based Security. These breaches and the need to protect user data has resulted in information security becoming one of the fastest growing fields. The field is projected to grow by 32% through 2028, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The average growth rate for all occupations is 5%. So data security engineers growing at a 32% clip. That's unbelievable. Number 3, Director of Diversity and Inclusion. This has got a median income of $98,000 per year. It's the only top-paying emerging job of the decade that doesn't fall into the tech space. And it focuses on workplace culture, particularly within diversity and inclusion. This is an exploding issue. 61% of U.S. employees have witnessed or experienced discrimination in the workplace. Larger companies are going to be the ones that are going to be employing this position because they've got the money and the resource, quite frankly, to do it. Number 4, sales engineer, $90,000 per year salary. Sales engineers work for tech companies to sell customized software and products to other businesses looking to expand IT efforts. So basically, the sales engineer is exploding because you have to have somebody who can communicate to the customer on the other end. Because you got a lot of engineers, if I can be honest here for a moment, you don't want them talking to people because it's like talking in a different language. So you got to have somebody who understands the tech well enough to be able to explain how the product or service is the right solution. So essentially, they're the middleman between the engineer and the person on the other end. I've tried to talk to some engineer friends here at Ramsey Solutions. I don't know what they're saying. And listen, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just not smart enough to talk to them. You know what I mean? It's like they're speaking this language, and I'm over here just trying to deal with basic English. All right, so there you go. And then finally, the Salesforce developer. This is fascinating. $80,000 median income. Salesforce, the cloud-based software company that specializes in customer relationship management, has blown up so much around the world that it's creating jobs. Because we need Salesforce developers, right? If companies are using Salesforce, they need a developer who can code software or app solutions for their company to better connect with the customer. So there you go. 5 high-paying, growing jobs that are coming your way. So if that's you, if you fit that, the world is changing. The workforce is changing. Who knows how many jobs will be on the landscape in the next decade that don't even exist today. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. 844-747-2577. You have access to me. It's a phone call away. I'm here for you. Let's go. Brian's on the line in Denver, Colorado. Brian, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, my man. How are you, sir?
I am living the dream. What can I do for you?
I'm trying to find my sweet spot, and I'm having a few issues here.
Okay. What are the issues?
I'm just not sure really where to go. So currently I'm working for FedEx Ground.
I'm sorry?
And
you're working for FedEx?
I'm working. Yes.
Okay.
FedEx Ground.
Okay.
I'm a warehouse mall.
Okay.
So I'm working in there's a big, huge warehouse.
Okay.
And I don't feel that this is my sweet spot.
All right. So here's the deal. So when somebody calls me and they want to figure out what their sweet spot is, we got to figure out what you know about yourself. There's 3 things that you've got to be clear on to know what your sweet spot is, Brian. The first is, what do you do best? And then the second thing is, what do you love to do? So you look forward to this, and when you're engaged in this kind of task or function or role, time seems to disappear. The third thing is, what results matter most to you? So those 3 things, when you come together, you're in your sweet spot. So do you know those things about yourself? What do you do best? What are the top 2 or 3 things that you do better than anything else?
Yes. So I'm told that I do really good in customer service. Okay. I'm definitely a team player, and I'm very dependable, reliable, outgoing.
Great. All right, that's fantastic. All right, now tell me what you love to do. You think about this and you get excited. You're in the middle of it, and time seems to just disappear. And you just really enjoy this type of work, task, function, or role. What is it?
Honestly, I would love to work at an airport.
Okay. What would you be doing at the airport? Let's say I can give you that tomorrow. I mean, I just put you in there, and you know you're going to love it. You know you're going to be good at it. What would that be? What are you doing at the airport?
One of the jobs I've been looking at is a job called the airport operations position.
Okay.
So what this position does is they're the boarding gate people.
Okay.
So they verify that you have your ticket, and they scan you when you board. Go to the boarding gate there at the airport.
Great. Okay. So let's just look at that for a moment. So this is an idea that you have. Let's just see for a moment, is it in your sweet spots? Let's go back to what I teach, Brian. Number 1, do you have to be good with customer service to be good at that job?
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you need to be a team player, Brian?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you need to be dependable, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, do you really like...
The question that I have is like a lot of these positions I've been looking at, and I have a friend who's been trying to refer me about this position. This one involved being with a union. Okay. And honestly, I have no desire, though, to be with the union again.
Okay, but that's a separate issue. You called me and you said you were having a hard time figuring out what your sweet spot is. I'll get to the union issue in a moment, but that's irrelevant to what we're talking about, okay? The idea here is we want to confirm that this idea, this position that you would like to fill, is it in your sweet spot? And you interrupted me. So now let me finish, all right? Do you love the idea of being a person like that who makes sure that people get what they need, make sure that the operation, everything's running smoothly, and you're a big part of that. Do you like that?
Yes, I do.
Of course you do. So my point is, the idea, or not the idea, the position of being in what that really is a customer-facing service role. You're onboarding people onto the plane, okay? So yeah, that's in your sweet spot based on what you've told me. Okay, we just walked through that. You're good at it. You enjoy that work, and it creates a result where the customer feels happy, your team feels happy, the operation's running smoothly, and you enjoy all that. So now let's look at the union issue. If you don't want to work for a union, that's fine. I have no problem with that. So then don't go get a customer-facing service job that's a part of a union. So what are the other types of positions that are really, really similar to the functionality of that airport particular job that you've got? And there's lots of roles where you can do that. I mean, all over the place. In fact, Brian, we've got a job economy right now that's exploding. There are more positions available in the United States than there are people who are unemployed. So right now you're going, where can I find a customer-facing service type job where I'm serving the customer and I'm a part of a team and I'm a part of making operations run smoothly because of how I organize, guide, serve the customer. That's it. That's the job description, Brian. And that's all over the place. And oh, by the way, there's lots of those roles where they're not in unions. So there you go, buddy. It's time for you to go. And look, you got to weigh it. Do you really want to be in the airport? Do you want to be in the airport more than you want to be a part of a union? You can be a part of the union and not get involved in union politics. You really can. So I sense that's where that's coming. But again, this isn't a problem because there are plenty of opportunities for you to do what you just defined for us as a great role in your sweet spot. 844-747-2577, the number. We go to Mylene, who's on the line in San Francisco. Mylene, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I am living the dream, Mylene. How are you?
Thanks. It's my pleasure talking to you.
Well, good. What's going on?
So I love my job, and I love the flexibility. I can work from home, but I feel like I'm underpaid. I did a research, and I can get a job that's paying more, but I will have to have additional costs like daycare.
Yeah.
Or babysitter.
Yeah.
So how can I address this to our CFO? So what happened was I already speak with my immediate manager, and he said he has no control of it, and he said he already told our CFO, and the CFO is planning to talk to me after the holiday break. But until now, I haven't heard from him.
Great.
So
all right.
I wonder, how can I address this?
Yeah, here's what you do.
Get his attention.
Yeah, so you go right back to the leader and you say, hey, I'm following up. We're into the third week of January. January's almost done, and I'd just like to follow up. You had said before the break that you had no control over my pay, but you had let the CFO know, and the CFO was planning to talk to me. Can we have that meeting? Because I'd love to be here. And so you follow up. Now, let's assume that you're going to get a yes on that meeting. You have got to go do your research with places like Glassdoor, and there's other websites out there where you can see what the market range is for your position. Have you already done that homework?
Yes, I did.
All right. And so in the range that you have found, are you on the low end?
I'm on the low end.
Yeah.
Actually, it's for like a beginner senior accountant.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm more of that, and also
Great.
I'm a key player right now. They terminated some leadership.
Great.
And they added that to my my plate.
Perfect. So here's where you sit right now, Mylene. You have leverage. Mm-hmm. You have leverage because you've done the market research and you've seen that you are on the low end of the range. So that shows that there is at least a market case for you to make more. Now, doesn't mean you deserve more or that they're guaranteed to give it to you. We're gonna show the CFO that you've got some leverage here. So this is what the range is. I'm on the low end. Secondly, you just added leadership responsibilities to my plate, and I didn't get a bump, and I'm just wondering if I continue to do well with this added responsibility, do you see a growth plan that doesn't just include responsibility, but also pay? And so you're not going in, trying to paint him or her in the corner. You're just saying, I'm having a conversation here because I'm on the low range and I want to make more. I want to grow. And I'm really thrilled. I love my job. Like, I'm thrilled. It's just I got more responsibility. I didn't get increased pay. And I understand I need to earn that, but can we at least have a conversation about getting me in the higher range? And what do I need to do? Let's just see how they handle that information. Now, that's what you do first. If you do those things that I just told you, Mylene, and they don't respond positively, then you have to decide, am I okay with that? Is that going to hurt my feelings? Am I going to continue to feel devalued to the point that it will affect my performance and it will affect my emotions? Yeah, I know you can't.
I can't.
I know you can't. So what does that tell you? If they don't respond the right way, then you begin to look somewhere else. And I don't want you to jump until you've got something else. So you can hang in there. You're a big gal. You're awesome. You're tough. You can take the hurt feelings long enough to find something else. And then you just adjust. You can either make more money and then that absorbs the daycare, or you find something that allows you to stay in the home. But yes, you need to move on. Absolutely. And that's how you do that, folks. Let me just summarize what I just told Mylene for those of you out there who are feeling like you should be being paid more. I have said this 100 times. I'm going to say it 100 times more, maybe 1,000 times. Don't ask for a raise. Don't ask for a raise, because when you ask for a raise and it's not been a part of the natural conversation with your leader, let me tell you what happens. Your leader automatically goes on the defensive because it's a tennis match. You hit it across the net. Hey, I'd like to talk about a raise. And they feel like they've got to hit the ball back. I mean, it's just natural to feel that way. And you don't want to do that. What you want to do is go in there and say, hey, can I talk to you about working with you, my leader, on a growth plan? I would like to grow. What are some areas you think I could get better? What training would you recommend that I go do to get better? Because I want to be better here, so that I can get more responsibility and influence. And obviously with that additional responsibility and influence, I make more money. Now, see, that's a whole different ballgame, because what you're doing is you're going to the leader going, hey, I want to know where I can get better, how I can get better, how I can be a greater asset to the company. And I need your help. And it allows them to, A, not have to respond right away with a yes or no on the raise, and then build a growth plan. And see, these are about measurables. Because if you get your leader committed to a growth plan and they say, if you do this, then we're going to reward you, then you've got it on paper, right? And we're on the same page. And the raise is the reward for meeting your measurables. But a healthy leader is going to respond way better. And even an unhealthy leader will respond better if you don't go at it with, hey, I've been here 3 years. I haven't got a pay raise. I think I should get a pay raise. I mean, that's just a killer. It's going to kill the conversation. So don't go about it that way. 844-747-2577 is the number. We're going to go to your questions in the chat room. If you're not paying attention, you're watching right now, and right next to the video window, you will see a chat box. Throw the questions in there. We're going to get to those momentarily. But I want to tell you about our Ramsey relocation guide. Now, my audience is constantly looking for new work, right? And as a result, you may have to relocate. But here's what we know. Relocating is scary and uncomfortable. And as a result, the idea of relocating becomes a hurdle for many people moving forward for the change they want. Good news, I'm taking the fear and the doubt out of relocation through our amazing Ramsey relocation guide. It's going to walk you through each step of relocating, what you need to know to be prepared, including negotiating a relocation package, how to sell your current home, how to find a job, if that's what you're looking for in your zip code. Who are the people that I need? Who's my investment advisor? Who's my insurance person? I got to get all new people, man. What do I do? Exactly what we tell you to do in the Ramsey Relocation Guide. Text the word relocation. It's free. So why wouldn't you do this? Text the word relocation to 33789. 33789. Text the word relocation. We'll get you that for free. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you something, folks. The antidote to fear and doubt is knowledge. Fear and doubt will absolutely own you when you just are operating in the unknown. But step into the clarity and the light of knowledge, and you'll be surprised how quickly those cockroaches of fear and doubt will scurry to the corner. You just, when you don't know, you're locked up. All right? If you're a parent, you've been through this. Mom, there's a monster in the closet. Oh my gosh, sweetheart, there's no monster in the closet. That kid believes that there's something in that closet. Your kid can't think clearly because they believe there's a noise in there that could be a monster that will eat them the moment you leave the room. So what do? You have to go in the closet. You got to open it up. You got to show them. There's no monster. What does the kid do? And now the kid's asleep before you even shut the door. Same thing with us. Fear and doubt. They're monsters. And they live in this imaginative brain of ours that can concoct crazy stories. Knowledge dissipates fear and doubt. So, boy, I feel like I'm teaching a lot today. Preaching. By the way, I said this at the top of the show. If you've just joined us, after we do these chat questions, I'm so fired up about this message because I'm hearing this from people in my life. I'm hearing this on social media. You folks are telling me this. You're emailing me. If you've heard a big no, whether it be in relationships or professionally, I've got the way to handle the no. And I'm going to share it in a few minutes. But first, to the chat room we go. Adam writes in, I want to be a doctor, Ken, but I don't have the money to pay for the expensive degree, and going into debt is out of the question. What should I do? You should do everything it takes to be a doctor. But your mindset sucks right now. I'm just going to tell you. All right? Let me read what you just wrote me. I want to be a doctor, but I don't have the money to pay for it. And going into debt is out of question. Ken, is there some way that I can circumvent the system that you're aware of? That's essentially what you just asked me. Hold on, let me think for a second. No, you can't be a doctor without a medical degree. Okay? You can't. So let's reframe the question. Hey, Ken, what mindset and strategies do I need to have to become the doctor that I want to be? Because right now, it's a massive mountain that feels like I can't climb because it's really expensive and I refuse to go into debt. Oh, now that's a great question, Adam. Now here's what you do. Adam, you better get busy because right now, the only thing, hear me say this, the only real thing, not the fear and doubt you're wrestling with, and I just went off on that. The only thing that you're really dealing with as a hurdle is money. So get busy. Bust your butt and save up the money. Ken, that's going to take me 5 years or 7 years of unbelievable intensity. Yeah, I know. It took me 9 years to step into this job. Wah, wah, wah. I'm sorry. If you want to be a doctor, you could be a doctor, but you're going to have a ton of patience and a ton of perseverance. And you're going to have to save. You're going to have to change your lifestyle. You're going to have to go crazy. You're going to have to work harder than you ever thought you could possibly work. But if you keep your mindset on the people that you know you were created to help and how you might save somebody's life one day, and because of you, they get the future that was threatened. Whoa, now that would fire me up. That'd keep me in the game for 5 to 7 years, that there's somebody out there, there's several somebodies out there that I'm going to save their life one day. Or I'm going to make their life livable. Now, that is what you ought to be thinking on. And if you're thinking about that and it's duty, then you can handle 5 or 7 years of waiting to save up the money to go to medical school. So there you go. Let's see here. Ryan writes in, I'm happy as an independent contractor, but working for a company as a salary employee has a lot of benefits, like cheaper health insurance, the 401k. Should I leave my contractor job for the benefits? Oh my gosh. I am so tired of the benefit apple, whatever you call it. like great benefits. Oh, well, Ken, I mean, I could go over here and I could have all this. Do you see this apple, Ken? Look at this apple. It is so big and juicy and delicious and shiny. Now let's go back to the question. I'm happy as an independent contractor. But if I go work as a salary employee, I can get the benefits. Now listen, I'm having some fun right now. I'm feeling a little extra froggy today, Joe. But I'm never, ever, ever going to tell you to take a job just because of benefits. So, okay, Ryan, here's where I'm okay with you leaving being a contractor, where you're happy to take the job with the shiny apple of benefits. You better be in your sweet spot, Ryan. You better be able to use what you do best, your talents, the soft skills and hard skills. What you do best, Ryan, you better be able to use those things every day to do work, a task, a role, a function that you really, really love. And it better create results that mean something to you. Now, if it meets those three purposeful criteria and you get great benefits, woohoo, go. But please, don't ever take a job for benefits, because let me tell you what happens if Ryan doesn't listen to me and he takes a job that's not in his sweet spot. It might have two of the three, but it didn't have all three. Maybe it has one of the three, it didn't have all three. If he takes the job for benefits, he's going to feel really smart for about 60 days. This will be Ryan. I am so smart. I got great benefits. Got the 401k. Look at me. And then he's going to get miserable after the 60 days of how smart he is wears off. And he's going to go, boy, I'd rather be happy in my work and make more money and take care of my own benefits and invest myself. Benefits should never be the reason that you move. If it's an extra bonus, fantastic. But folks, the very things sometimes that entice us to make a move are the very things that end up being the wrong decision. Well, Ken, it's safe. It's smart. I got a 401k over there. Who gives a crap about your 401k if you're miserable? Because then you're going to call my show back and go, Ken, I took the job for the 401k and now I hate it. By the way, I've had that call many times. So there you go. Hey, keep the chats coming every show. We're going to get to those when we can. I want to talk real quick about, since I'm on fire right now, I feel like I'm on fire, Joe. And this is why, by the way, I was thinking about this morning. In the car, I get some of my most enjoyable mental time in the car. Now, my wife doesn't like it because I can be highly distracted because I'm so in the zone thinking that I'm not necessarily the best driver. Okay? Full confession. But I'm thinking on the way into work today, why does a no rock people's world so much? Why does it stop us in our tracks and many times kick us off the path? And I had this thought. When you hear a no, a big no, I'm not talking about the little no's, I'm talking about big no's. And I'm talking to you, I want you to look at me. Some of you out there right now are watching this and you've heard a massive no in your life, maybe relationally. Heartbreaking, gut-wrenching no. Or you've heard a no in your business. Massive no. You thought it was the breakthrough proposal or client and they said no. Or maybe you went after the dream job, or you went after a job that was going to put you on the ladder to the dream job and you heard a no and you were so fired up and you went to the fourth interview and you thought you were the finalist and they chose somebody else and it just rocked your world. You heard a massive no. Now here's what the human brain does when we hear no's. We hear and feel finality. No. Feels final. Devastating. That's it. It's over. That's what the brain does with no. Feels final. And we focus on the finality of it and it just crushes us. Many of us never recover from the big no's in life. Now, I want you to reframe your no's from this moment forward when you hear no, I want you to focus on not here, not yet. When you hear the no, go, oh, that just means that's not a no. That's not a no. Okay, thank you for the no. It's not a no. It's a not here. Not in this relationship. Not at this company. Not this client, right? So not here. Or not yet. Not yet. And when you do that, guess what happens? You shift from finality thinking to future thinking. Oh, that's a game changer. You focus on, okay, that sucks. I don't like the way it felt. But you know what? Here's what I know. It's not here. I'm not supposed to be here. This opportunity that I thought was the opportunity, it's not yet. The breakthrough with the customer is coming. The dream job is coming. Your soulmate's out there. I'm telling you. But you won't find the opportunity, the breakthrough customer, or the soulmate if you allow no to be what you focus on. You have got to shift from no to not here, not yet, because that will take you from finality to the future, and that'll get you back on it. And so here's the final thought. If you do what I just told you, when you hear the no, you'll actually go. You go from no to go. I'm not going to stand here and I'm not going to be miserable and analyze the no. I just know it's time to go. I'm not going to stand here and be miserable. It's time to go. So I promise if you do that, it's going to be a game changer in your relationships. It's going to be a game changer in your business. It's going to be a game changer in your professional drive. 844-747-2577 is the number. Going to get back to the phones, but real quick, our Facebook community is blowing up. I love this. The team here created the official Ken Coleman community, and it's actually for you. I'm a man of the people. It's for you, the people. So I love to sneak on there every once in a while, and you all are helping each other. It's like the Ken Coleman Show is happening, but I'm not even in there. And it's such a wonderful place of encouragement. So just search the official Ken Coleman community on Facebook and click join. And you're going to find like-minded, like-hearted people who are going to really encourage you. All right, back to the phones we go. Stephen is on the line in Billings, Montana. Stephen, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. It's an honor to talk to you.
Well, the honor's all mine, Stephen. What's up?
Well, I feel like you were just preaching to me with what you were saying about going from no to go.
Hey.
My question is, my wife got hired at the beginning of December at a job that was in her sweet spot, not necessarily her dream job, but in the industry that she wants to end up in.
Yeah.
And just recently this week on her way to work, her boss called her and just said, don't come into work anymore. We don't really want you here anymore. No prior communication.
Oh my
no
gosh.
information given before this phone call. So she tried to keep the conversation going and just ask, what happened? Is there anything I can change before we make this final? And the conversation turned really nasty, really fast on his end.
Wow.
So to make it clear to him, she just said, if that's the kind of person you are, then I resign and, have a good life.
Good for her.
But now she's dealing with a lot of hurt and embarrassment, and she just recently got diagnosed with some depression and general anxiety as well.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you, as a husband, I guess man to man, if you have any advice for me in ways that I can help her move past this sense of finality and this kind of no, and move into a growth mindset after this.
Well, I would tell you that at some point soon, I would go to a really nice dinner after having maybe gotten her some flowers, maybe send her to the day spa, and just let her kind of hurt and begin the process of healing. And I really believe so much in the power of giving somebody the opposite of what they've just experienced. So she's just experienced betrayal, rejection. She doesn't feel like she's worth anything. It's just straight up nasty what this guy did.
Yeah.
And so I would lavish her. I would make sure friends and people that she loves that are around her, and it's okay for a husband to go behind a wife's back. In fact, he ought to in this situation, be like, hey, she needs you right now. Would you do this for me? And so let's get her in a place where she's feeling very loved and valuable. Okay, that's step one. Step two is I'd go to dinner with her as a part of all this and just give her your version of what I just said. Okay, but only in the emotion of saying, I understand what you're feeling. I don't feel it, but I'm mad too. But I'm mad as your protector. I want to punch the guy in the nose, but I know you're hurting. But here's what I want you to know. This is going to end up being really good for us. I know it's not good now, but it's going to be good. All right? Now, the other thing is, if she's dealt with some depression, has she seen a professional in this process?
Yes, we've just begun that process,
Great.
Being a therapist and whatnot.
Let me tell you something. That's huge, because what she doesn't need right now is to try to handle this on her own, right? Because I can tell you right now, I know people that this has happened to. This is so weird, Stephen. I know somebody that is very dear to me that this happened Friday. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, it's almost the exact same scenario. Somebody that I love deeply is going through this right now. So this is so crazy fresh for me. This is nuts. And I'm telling you that this is a strong, positive person who's not dealt with what your wife has dealt with, which depression's a real thing. Anxiety is a real enemy. So I love that she's seeing a professional, and I would tell you to encourage her and do whatever it takes. If you got to go work a second job yourself, that you need to support her there, and let's get her the tools to handle those enemies. And then the rest of it she'll get through. But we need to support her there. And then I think it's this. Let's retreat to the why. Get back to her why. Get her listening to the show. What's her why? What's her sweet spot? Walk through it with her. What do you do best, babe? And what do you love to do most? And then what are the results that matter most? And let's take this time of bitter disappointment and hurt and allow it to let us reset. And allow this to be actually the thing that kicked us out of the nest, that propels us forward. And I think that's it. I think you do those three things, she's going to be fine. She's going to be fine.
That's great.
And you're a good man. You're a good man. And let me tell you something. I'm proud of you for making this call. I'm proud of you for stepping up right now, because your wife needs to just hurt. And I learned this early on in marriage, and I'll just be very intimate with the audience for a moment. My wife, Stacy, and I struggled for 7 years with infertility, and it was brutally difficult. We also had some difficulties with the process of getting into adoption, which then changed our lives. But I'm going to tell you, it was brutal. And as a dude, Stephen, let me just tell you, our propensity is to try to fix everything with words. That's just what guys do. Number one, we just want to fix everything. And sometimes, guys, you trying to fix something actually stirs it up and makes it worse. So in this situation, Stephen, please learn from me. One of the greatest things that I ever learned in that very painful journey for my wife and I is that the most valuable thing I could do for Stacy most of the time when she was really going through a tough time was just to say, I know, and shut up and hug her and hold her and love on her and listen to her. And I think that's the most important thing you can do right now. Right now. Wow. Hey, if you're hurting, you stay engaged here. Know that I'm your friend, and I'm a phone call away. I know I got to go right now, but I don't want to. But I'll be here every day. Hey, before I let you go, you matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.